Good morning and welcome to Dakota Wings. Today we're going to demonstrate the installation of the SatelliteShield in the Phantom 2 Vision Plus. Before we get started, I brought a couple of tools together here. I've got a razor blade. We're going to slice the decal so we can take the top off. I also have a zero Phillips screwdriver. Some people have had problems trying to get this particular screw out, and if a zero doesn't work too well, a double zero Phillips will really work good. Just make sure that you apply a little pressure with that particular one. There is some sticky covering over the GPS inside of the Phantom, and if you need, a butter knife is a good tool to have also. And the last tool is a 5/64 Allen wrench. Also a 2mm will work, but I find the 5/64 is a little bit tighter and gets the screws out a little better. I also have a little tray here. I don't like my screws rolling all over the place and getting lost, and so I have this to keep all my screws in. One also should be aware of, take the battery out. We don't want anything happening, so remove the battery and set that aside. Okay, we will turn the unit over and we will start with the razor blade, and we have two arms here that we need to slice. It's real easy to do. Okay, now we're going to begin with the 5/64 inch, and what we're going to do is we're going to take out the screw here right by the outside edge of the leg. There's also two deep screw holes right at the end of the leg by the motor screws. We're going to just take these two out here and that one there with this particular 5/64. The Phillips is we're going to use that to take out the one on the end. I like to take out the ones that are next to the legs first. This is a pretty tight one to get out. Some people have had problems with that, but if you're just apply a little pressure, it should come out quite easily. And don't use a big handled wrench on these, or a screwdriver rather. You might strip things out, so use a nice thin one here. A little pressure, it should work. Okay, you want to take those three out all the way around all four legs. And after you do that, take the little screw on the end out here, and make note that this end screw is not the same as the screws you just took out. We're all loose here. Just ease it out. These are a little bit smaller, a little bit longer. I'll put those on the other end so it doesn't confuse them. Now do that to all the other three legs, and then we'll show you how to open it up. Okay, now we're going to remove the cover and lift this up real slowly, and we have our connection for the GPS in the top half connected right here. We have to very carefully remove that, and then we can take the top off. And there we go. Now we will set aside the rest of this unit and we will work on our project. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we are going to reposition this cable to underneath the existing shield. And to do that, we're going to fold back one half of that shield and bring it out the other end. It's going to make it a little bit shorter, and you got to put it back together when you're all done a little bit closer together, but it should work just fine. So we'll start by doing that. Like I said, if it doesn't come apart very easily, you can always use a butter knife here to help you do that. Just make sure you keep it away from the GPS unit. And there are different types of these protectors on the GPS. Some of them have slits all the way around. This one here just has a little hole here. It must be a newer modification. And for this particular modification, I would suggest that you take the whole shield off, not just half of it, and that way there we can rotate the whole thing and not disturb anything as far as the shield goes. So we're going to take the whole shield off. Okay, there we have the whole shield off. Now what we're going to do is we're going to just slide that all the way down here and just rotate that 180 degrees, and we'll just put it back together, and we haven't slid it or done anything to it, so it should be just fine. Okay, there. It was out the other end. We've rotated it and brought it to the bottom edge. Now we are ready to put in the brand new satellite shield. We have the shield itself, and we also have 4 little tabs here. When you put it in and you're all done with the main shield, if there are some areas that need to be covered up, we've got 4 extra tabs for it. So first we're going to very carefully remove this from its backing. It is self-adhesive on the back, and it's got a protective covering on the front to help reduce the possibility of shorts. Okay, and what you'll want to do is line these slits up in the short areas of the cover here. Just get it nice and centered in here. Looks like we need to bring it my way a little bit. There we go. The way I like to start is just by pressing down firmly in the middle here, and work my way out. And we have slots on each side here cut out so we don't cover up the airflow. And just, like I say, work your way around. And we have these little tabs like I mentioned. And we're going to put those over the top of this here so we got a nice short end on that cable like that. Okay, I think we have this pretty well put back together. Now we'll reassemble it. It's going to be a little bit harder to put it back together because now our GPS cable is a little bit shorter, and what I would like to do is just kind of bring it over top of the two motors over there, and before I put these two down, I just grab this cable, which is only about 1 inch long now, and fit it into place here. Well, Tim? I think we got her in place. Now we're going to bring down these two and snap things together a little bit. And what I like to do when I'm putting things back together, I use a little painter's tape to hold everything together while I'm putting the screws in. Kind of like an extra set of hands. I like to do the opposite ends first. Okay, we're now ready to turn it upside down and get our screws back in. And what we're going to do here is put the one in by the end of the leg first. And these screws have some Loctite on them. And I just like to snug them up. Don't over tighten them or you might have a tendency of stripping out some screws. Okay. And we're just going to move our way all the way around and do those screws first. now we go to the two out by the motors. And it's a good idea not to have any screws left over. Okay, there's all the hex screws. Now we're going to put in the Phillips screws on the very end. Okay, one screw left and we'll be all done here. Okay, there, our modification has been complete. We have the new satellite shield in place. We have it all screwed together. And all that's left now is to put the battery back in, put the propellers on, and happy flying.